How does Bishop Wiley take care of Dr. Jeana Thomlinson?
How does he take care of business?
Yes. Okay. How does he take care of business? Yes. How does he take care of business?
Well, oh my goodness, he's rare. He's a rare man.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm saying this is because I'd like any husband that's listening to go down the checklist and see if they do these things.
Mm-hmm.
If ever he gets a new car, he wants me to have it.
Okay.
He's not thinking of him getting the new car. He's always thinking about me getting the new car.
Okay.
And even if he gets a new car, after he's given me a new car, he wants me to drive his car.
Okay.
He wants me to initiate it.
Yes,
He's proud to bring it to me. In the Word of God, it's really interesting how, I resisted so long that word submission because, well, I'd have to tell you a little about my background for you to understand why. But there's a lot of women who resist that. They don't like that word. But it's a loving word, and it takes time to understand that it's a loving word, especially when you look at what Jesus is requiring of the wife and the husband. Submission isn't so bad when I see what God is requiring of the husband. He's requiring the wife to yield.
Yes.
Which is difficult for a woman because a woman likes to run the show. But he's requiring of the husband to die. So after I see what is required of the husband, then the yielding is not that big of a deal.
Wow.
Because he's to lay down his life for his wife like Christ laid down his life for the church. And so my husband, I haven't seen, I've been around the world. I am a world traveler, and I haven't been looking for someone else, but for reference, I've been looking to see what I had, and I haven't found anybody to compare to my husband.
My God.
He bathes me with the Word of God. He's always thinking about my spiritual growth. He'll give me a tape to listen to. And one thing that he says that I guess would be a blessing if husbands don't have this is that he tells me how appreciative he is that I never resist him when he wants to feed me the Word. Maybe there's some husbands who meet with resistance when they tell their wives to listen to something or to pray with them or something. I don't know. But he says he really appreciates that. And the other thing that he does is that he treats me like 1 Peter says. He honors me as the weaker vessel. Now that word doesn't mean that I'm weak.
Right.
It's just talking about how the husband is supposed to behave himself with his wife. Okay. And just like I'm supposed to yield to my husband as unto the Lord. That word as is a real big word here. I'm to yield to my husband as unto the Lord. He's not the Lord. Okay. But I'm to yield to him as unto the Lord. My husband is to honor me as the weaker vessel. I'm not weak. But here's a good example, several examples of how my husband does that. Many times we'd be working at the church, and he'd be working just as hard as I was. And he'd go home a little early, so that when I got home, he would draw my bath for me. And once I had disrobed, he would help me into my beautiful garden tub. He'd light candles for me. He would bring me juice or water or whatever I requested in a stemmed glass, and he'd say, honey, can I wash your back for you? Can I do anything for you? I said, no, I just would like to be alone for a few minutes. He'd say, all right, but I'm right here if you need me for anything. See, I know how to get into a bathtub. I know how to bathe myself, but he was treating me as a weaker vessel. Okay. Whenever I would go on a road trip, he would bring me his keys, and he would take my keys. And he would go get my tires checked. He would go fill my car up. He would go see if I needed a tune-up. He'd get it completely clean and waxed for me. He'd call ahead to make sure I had proper accommodations. Many times when I'd get to those accommodations, there'd be flowers waiting for me. So the point is that he was treating me as a weaker vessel. I know how to get my car fixed. I know who to go. The mechanics like to see me coming. Especially if they know I'm going to tip them, because I tip them good. I know how to put gas in my car. I know how to call for my accommodations. But my husband is treating me as the weaker vessel. When I go up on the stage, he would help me up on stage. I know how to get up on stage. I was part and parcel of helping to build that stage, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is that he's treating me as a weaker vessel. And why is it important for the husband to do that? Because it makes him look good. It makes me feel good. And it glorifies our Father in heaven. Why is it important for me to yield to my husband? Because it makes me look good. It makes him feel good. And it glorifies our Father in heaven. So simple. And also, everything that God tells us to do, there is a cross already engraved in it. For me to yield is a hard thing. For any woman to yield is a hard thing. Okay. Because we know we're leaders. The way I like to put it is that the husbands come wanting directions and the women come with the manuals. They're born with them. I don't know why. My husband has never, ever, ever in the 38 years we've been married, never told me how to be a wife. But I can tell him every month what he's doing wrong as a husband, how he needs to behave. Why? I've never been a husband. I'll never be a husband. Why do I know? Instinctively, because those instructions are on the inside of me. And that's why the Word of God says in 1 Peter chapter 3, he says, live with them. Talking to the husbands, live with them. Talking about the wives, according to knowledge. What knowledge? What she tells you. She's going to tell you if something's right or wrong. You know, it would be a foolish man not to listen to her. Here's something else my husband does every night.